I have my notes for this one. The 20 nominees for the 2015 class of the NASCAR Hall of Fame have come out. It's just going to be kind of my thoughts. They're more or less in alphabetical order except for the second and third one, and I grouped them together for a reason. Buddy Baker, 19 wins, including the Daytona and Southern 500. Frankly, I don't think that gets it. He may get in because he has later years than some of these, but I'm sorry, 19 wins, no championships, just don't get it. The next two I've paired together, Raymond Parks and Red Byron. Raymond Parks was Red Byron's car owner for the first Premier Series, or what we now know as Sprint Cup Championship. Of course, Red Byron was the driver now. I could see them getting in. Again, I've got a beef with the Hall of Fame only taking 5 members a year, but I don't know if they will or not. Richard Childress, next, been nominated before. 6-time champion car owner, has owned champions in all 3 of NASCAR's top series. Still a current car owner. Whether he gets in, who knows? Frankly, I think he deserves to be in, but we'll see what happens. And the next one I think deserves to be in. Jerry Cook, a 6-time National Modified Champion from that Rome, New York, same as the late Richie Evans. I think he deserves to be in again, and I think he should have been in the first class with a whole bunch more than they put in. Next, Bill Elliott. 2-time Daytona 500 winner, 1988 Premier Series champion. 1 championship, I just don't know if that gets it, and 2 Daytona 500s, but I really can't see it. And he's eligible under the new rules. He hadn't actually been retired long enough, but by age he's eligible. Next, Ray Fox, winning car owner. Again, his car's won some races. But I don't know. He did win the Southern 500 with Buck Baker. He won Daytona 500 with Hall of Famer Junior Johnson. But again, I just don't. That's debatable to me. I'm not sure he deserves to be in. Next, Rick Hendrick. Of course, everybody knows Rick Hendrick. 6, 10, 11 championships in Cup or Premier Series. Has won nationwide and trucks, I believe. He frankly deserves to be in, but will they put an active car owner in, same as Richard Childress? Next, Bobby Isaac. People who don't know who Bobby Isaac was, the late Bobby Isaac was the 1970 Premier Series champion. Suddenly retired during a race in 73, made some comebacks off and on, and actually passed away of a heart attack during a race at Hickory, North Carolina, a short track race. Again, 1 championship. I just don't know if that cuts it. Although Bobby Isaac was one of the great ones, I understand he had some health problems that were not known about when he was racing. This story I've heard, I don't know if it's true. So I'm just reporting what I've heard. Next is Terry Labonte. Again, this is the one, 2-time Sprint Cup or Premier Series champion. I'll use their Hall of Fame terminology. And he's actually, I'm making this literally right after the nationwide race today, and he's literally in the Daytona 500. But again, the new rules by age now makes an active driver eligible for old enough. Terry Labonte possibly, and he may very well get in because of being more recent. Such was the case with both Dale Jarrett and Rusty Wallace. The voters know about them. Fred Lorenzen, who raced mainly in the 60s, retired in the mid-60s only to make a comeback in 1970 and run some through 72. 26 wins, some big races. Won a Daytona 500, won a Southern 500. But 26 wins, again, I don't know if that gets it. I frankly think it's a sympathy vote or a sympathy nomination because Fred Lorenzen is not in the best of health. Now here's one, and people may disagree with me, I think deserves to be in. Benny Parsons. Not so much because he won, I think, 20 races and a championship, but what he did at driving plus transitioning to the TV booth, the late Benny Parsons, I think he deserves to be in. Next, Larry Phillips, and it's possible he could get in. He was a short track racer, a good one. 5-time All-American Series champion. That, as I understand it, that's when they had a national champion from the regions of different NASCAR sanctioned tracks. He ought to be in. Whether he gets in or not, it's always said that he didn't. I believe he's passed away. I'm not positive on that. I haven't looked it up, but what I've read on Facebook and otherwise, but he didn't play the politics game. Next, and this one I very well may get some hate on, but I don't think he deserves to be in. You can disagree with me, dislike it, the video if you want to, I don't care. Wendell Scott, yes, he broke the color barrier, or was the main one to first break the color barrier. There was actually an African American before him, but one race win, just don't get it. What he did with the equipment he had was great, but in my opinion, not Hall of Fame worthy. And here's one, and I know some people disagree with me. If a talk show host in Louisville was still alive, she'd go berserk, because when Bruton Smith bought Kentucky Speedway, she said, "Oh, it's bad." I said, no, it's good. But she had lived in Charlotte, and Bruton's dealing used cars. She didn't care for or whatever, but I think he deserves to be in, because I've been to several of Bruton Smith's tracks. I've been to several International Speedway Corporation tracks, and I'll take Bruton Smith track any day. Daytona, Talladega, Darlington International Speedway Corporation, Charlotte, Atlanta, Bristol, Kentucky. Make the International Speedway Corporation tracks look sick. Bruton Smith Speedway Motorsports. Here's one by the numbers deserve to be in, with the emphasis on short track. Mike Stefanik, 9-time National Modified Champion. He deserves to be in. Here's an interesting one to get nominated. Curtis Turner. He was actually barred from NASCAR for 4 years in the early 60s for trying to unionize drivers, considered one of the great ones and the great partiers. But again, maybe he's one of the ones. I think they should have put at least 100 people in the first class. Curtis Turner passed away in a plane crash some years ago, I think about 1970, but I'd like to see him get in. Here's another one. You really don't know how many championships he would have won. Joe Weatherly, fatally injured in a crash at Riverside early in the '64 season, after winning the '62 championship and the '63 championship, driving an unreal. If you pull up Ultimate Racing History or racing-reference.info, and look how many cars Joe Weatherly drove in '63. Bud Moore, Hall of Famer Bud Moore, did not have the factory deal to run all the races. So Joe Weatherly literally run the races Bud Moore raced in, and basically hitchhiked the rest of the way to a championship. Great story. Next is Rex White, the 1960 Premier Series champion. One championship, again, I just don't think he gets it. I mean, Rex White was a great driver. I've never had the opportunity to watch him race. I've read about him, and again, I just don't think one championship cuts it. And the last one, this is again one I'm not sure belongs in. Robert Yates did win championships as both a car owner and engine builder. But I don't know. Engine builder, well, you can make the argument he also crew chief some, so Robert Yates to me is a toss-up. I was originally going to say he didn't deserve to be in, but to me it's 50-50. Again, he may get in because of being more recent. I really think they need some way to get some old-timers in. Maybe take 5 plus 2 or 3 old-timers every year. They need to do something, because there's definitely some old-timers that deserves to be in. It's just been my opinion. Comment who deserves to be in, who's not nominated that deserves to be in.